Good morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots. I have been meaning to do something for you guys for a while, and that is to show you how I attempt to stay organized with my seed collection. So those of you that have been watching for a while, you know that I have a serious addiction. I have a seed addiction. It's pretty extreme. Wouldn't you say so? So I have before me a mountain of seeds. How do I organize my seeds? So the first step that I do is I take all of my melon seeds, no matter if it's watermelon or cantaloupe or muskmelon, and no matter if they're from a seed swap or from Baker's Creek, I put them all into one Ziploc baggie. Oops. Got some Johnny's melon seed dropping out of the bag. I have all of these seeds are my melon seeds. Get as much air out as possible. And I do that for each variety. So I have all of my cucumber seeds, all these different packets of seeds are different types of cucumbers and cucamelons. I do it for my squash. I just do it for everything. So right here I've got one baggie is winter squash and the other one is pumpkins, because I had so many. Otherwise I would normally classify those together, because what this helps me do by breaking them down into groups in classes like this, where I have all of my seed categories together. All of my peppers are in here. All of my okra is in here. Then I know which bag to grab when I'm ready to plant, and I can choose which variety I'm going to grow. But in addition to that, I also know that my melons, cucumbers, squash, and let's say okra are all going to be planted in the early spring. As soon as the danger of frost is gone, I'm going to plant these by seed in the ground. So I take all of these plants that I plant in the ground from seed after the danger of frost is gone, and I put them in a grocery bag. Then all I gotta do is grab that bag when I'm heading out to the garden to sow my seeds in the early spring. Now there's other plants that I plant in early spring, like ground cherries, peppers, and where are the ones I'm famous for? Tomatoes. Yes, that's my tomato collection. I have a bazillion different tomato seeds. A lot of you may have seen them last year at the Homestead of the Americas conference. I was passing out tomato seeds with my little logo paper slipped inside of little baggies of tomato seeds. Those are my own heirloom seeds that I grew and saved myself. So I have all of those, and then I have a gazillion bazillion more. These are mostly little baggies of different types. I have over 150 different types of heirloom tomato seeds. So what these have in common, my ground cherries, my tomatoes, and my peppers, is that I sow these 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost on my heat pads in my grow room. So these go into their own separate bag. So when I'm going down to seed, I just grab that bag and I'm good to go. So the first step I am going to do with my seeds for fall planting is to eliminate all of the summer crops. So let's see, this is flowers. These are all different kinds of flower seeds. I can put those to the side. I won't be planting any flowers this late in the season. These are all my beans, all the different kinds of bean seeds that I have. I won't be needing any of those. I can set those aside. Here's all my different herbs. I won't be needing any of those. Those get set to the side. And then I can pull forward all of my leaves and roots. So now we've removed all the summer crops, and what we are left with are all our fall crops. And those consist of primarily roots and leaves. So generally what I'm gonna do is, now I have my fall/winter plants that I know are gonna do well in the cold of the winter here in Georgia. And that is going to be all of my leafy vegetables, all of my root vegetables, and some with flowers like broccoli and cauliflower and things like cabbage and Brussels sprouts. So I always like to start my cabbage and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and all these different kinds that I grow. I grow red ones, green ones, I grow Chinese cabbage, I grow Romanesco broccoli, just a variety of things, all depending on the year. So those are the plants that I start before I plant them into the ground. So it's a good idea to get a head start and get them planted in a seed tray 6 to 8 weeks before your normal fall planting. For us, that can be a various window of time. Some people start planting their fall crops in August in Georgia, and some people wait until later in October. So for me, I am running out of time to start these guys from seed. I need to get my broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts in a seed tray pretty quick if I'm gonna make it in time. Then we have the roots and leaves. So the roots are going to be anything from carrots, which I like to grow a rainbow of carrot colors. So I have just every color of the rainbow. I've got orange ones, yellow ones, white ones, red ones, all different kinds. And I love growing a rainbow of carrots. It makes it so pretty on the plate. Then other roots that take up a little bit more space because they get bushier and I can eat the leaves from these as well as the roots are going to be things like turnip and rutabaga. Also, there's going to be a variety of turnip greens and mustard greens and kale and spinach and lettuce and arugula and Swiss chard and escarole and sorrel and radicchio. Just the possibilities are endless in a fall garden. A lot of people think that the real time to grow a garden is in the summer and you get the most variety then. But none of these things do well for us in the summer because we live in a hot climate. So for me, fall is when I get excited. I love my greens and I love my roots. My root vegetables and my greens are my favorite. And all of my brassicas and cruciferous vegetables are also some of my absolute favorite. With my new diagnosis of Hashimoto's, I am not able to eat raw cruciferous vegetables because they are high in solanines, and I will be avoiding eating those raw like I used to eat a raw kale salad or raw kale in my smoothie. Now I'll have to do it steamed at least to reduce the solanines that are in those cruciferous vegetables. But all this other stuff, the only one that truly needs protection for our winter is going to be the lettuce. The lettuce and the spring mix and any of those types are the ones that I really have to make sure I cover if we get a cold night or a hard freeze. The other plants should be well established enough that if we get a freeze, just throwing a frost fabric over them to protect them will be enough. Not always. Depending how low the freeze is, we could lose some of these crops, but most of them will make it through the entire winter here in Georgia. I've had kale that in my garden right now that we planted 2 years ago, and it's still growing. So it's definitely possible to have a full-time winter garden here in Georgia. So I'm really excited to go through these fall seeds and figure out which ones I'm growing this year. But for now, I'm going to take my Rubbermaid storage containers and I'm going to put the bags, as I've already separated them by classification of what do I plant now and what do I plant in the ground and what has to be sown in a seed tray in advance. I'm going to put them right in order so that come April, right at the front, I will see those tomatoes and peppers that I need to seed probably in February. So I'm going to have those at the front of the box, kind of like a filing system. That way I can just go through. That way I can just go through and go, okay, this bag comes out and I sow these seed in my grow room. Then the next bag that I pull out are going to be the ones that I sow in the ground. So before April 15th, which is our last frost date here in Georgia, I can plant spinach before the frost. I can plant peas before that date. So there are some things that will get put into a separate bag in front of the rest of the summer stuff. So it'll be really exciting to see what I'm capable of this year, what my energy level does, and how my new diet and my new supplements will help improve my health so I can get back to gardening, because gardening has always been my therapy and always been my passion. I am really looking forward to sharing more with you guys about gardening and learning more as we grow more. I hope that this has helped you guys determine how you want to store or categorize your seeds. Most of these seeds are kept in Ziploc baggies so that they stay dry and free of moisture. I used to store my seeds in the crisper drawer of my refrigerator, but they don't fit there anymore. So I keep them in a cool, dark place in my house. I don't want these seeds getting hot, and I want to keep them nice and cool so that they'll stay fresh, and you must keep them away from any bugs or rodents that could get to them. I hope that maybe I've given you some inspiration or some ideas on either ways to store your seeds or some new possibilities of things that you might want to grow from seed next year or this year. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, if you're not a subscriber and you're watching this video and you want to see future videos from this channel, you're gonna have to subscribe and ring that bell next to the subscribe word so that you will receive notifications on our future videos as they come out. Thank you for watching Wholesome Roots.